Welcome to the Women on the Rise podcast. This is where we talk all things entrepreneurship aimed at female entrepreneurs. Whether you are just starting out or you have a 7 or an 8-figure business, we bring you the greatest tools, techniques, and ideas for inspiration for your business. I also interview some of the world's leading entrepreneurs from all over the world to hear about their businesses and what they've done to grow and scale their businesses. I welcome you to join us in our journey for Women on the Rise. Welcome to another episode of Women on the Rise, and I am in our studio in London, and I am interviewing Itziar Martos, who is the founder and CEO of Martos Digital Marketing, and she is also a Female Fusion member. We're going to talk all things building your business and digital marketing. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to have you here. I always love talking digital marketing and all sort of trends. Why don't we kick off and tell everybody a little bit about you, Itziar, and your business and the type of digital marketing that you're doing?
We basically do content creation for business owner because everyone needs to be on social media, but not everyone has the time to create the content, to post, and they don't know how to do it. And that's what that's my passion. I love to create videos. I love to create reels, and I really enjoy doing that. And I was like, why not to do it for them and also teach them how to do it? Because it's also a thing that everyone doesn't have the budget to pay a social media manager. So I am creating those things that I can help a small business owner to do the content too.
And everything is about content nowadays, and a lot of small businesses in particular are feeling that pressure that they constantly have to show up and they have to be online, and to be able to have somebody to help you is so valuable.
Yeah, the same that we hire a person for cleaning your house or for everything. You don't have to do everything if you are a business owner. You need to rely in other people to get that.
Well, as I say, stay in your zone of genius. Like, we want to be able to do the things that we're good at.
Yeah.
With videos, we've been experimenting a lot in Female Fusion with organic content, and some of our videos have gone really well. The ones that I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I want to publish it. And then when it goes, you're like, what? Like, why do we have 8,000 people who have watched us in 24 hours? It's really interesting what goes viral, what doesn't. One thing that I've really learned is it's so important to have that hook. Can you explain to people a little bit about why, when you're creating content, when you have a video, you shouldn't be starting things out like, hey guys, or hey, it's Jen here, I'm just here. People don't want to see that. It doesn't work for your video, right?
Yeah, it's really true. And when you have like 3 seconds or less now, because people is scrolling, you need to get the attention in like 1 second, and not even just the hook. You need to be moving yourself. You need to be doing things or not stopping. You need to speak, because if you stop, people go. You only have like 3 seconds to get the attention. It's really interesting how that works.
Because we get so distracted.
Yeah, that's it.
And it is all to do with our busy brain. And we've been in London, and we spent time with Dr. Romy, who has been telling us all about our busy brains.
Yeah.
But when we want to do that, you were telling me as well that one of your biggest challenges is trying to get Gen Xers, which would be my generation. We used to be young ones. Yes. To understand the Gen Zs and also even millennials maybe as well.
Yeah, like you said, it's so complicated because for us, we used to do like, if you're doing something, you need to do like professional work. You need to do it perfect. You cannot be natural and speaking in a selfie. But now that is not working anymore. The things that work are the natural thing, and it's a bit complicated, but normally people understand. Like, just let me try, and I will show you the result. And when they see like, oh, this is working, yeah, they trust you, and they are like, no, do whatever you want. You can, and that's what I love. When I can be creative, that's my
creativity. But I think especially for the Gen Xers, I think we do come from a bit of a background where it's like, but I want it to be perfect. And I want to have, like the perfect shot and the hair and the makeup. But what people are really looking for now is they just kind of want it real, don't they?
Yeah, the emotional connection is so important. I try my personal one. I try to all the tests that I want to do, and the ones
Yeah.
that I'm with no makeup, just speaking to the camera, being myself. Those are the ones that work. So it's like that is.
But in some ways, it's kind of nice, isn't it? That we're keeping it real rather than having to have the hair and the makeup and yeah.
Being ourselves is the best thing that we can do. And sometimes we try to pretend imposter syndrome, all those things. And when you are yourself, everything works well.
But that's what that's where it's changed, hasn't it? That right now people are looking for authentic leaders, authentic businesses, people that are aligned or connected with their values as well.
And listening to the story from that person. If you have a business, they want to know how you become that, what things
Yes.
did you make. Those things are interesting things.
Yes. Speaking about stories, I want to dive more into your story and the reason behind you setting up your business, because you're a relatively new entrepreneur. You've set up your business in the past year, but you're super experienced. You've got decades of experience within the industry, but you made the decision to move into having your own business. Maybe you could share with everyone a bit why.
Yeah, it's a long journey, but I will not be myself if I didn't have that time. When I was 21, finishing study photography, I was really happy. I was traveling to Italy for work, and I was like, yes, the world is mine. That year, I started to not see very well, and I didn't know what was happening. And doctor took like 5 years to diagnose me with I'm legally blind, so something it was happening. It's a rare disease, and from that I started to go down, and losing vision every year.
Wow.
And for me, it was so stressful because I was 21. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to have a career. I wanted to do a lot of things. And when they told you, no, you're going to get blind, it's like, oh no. So
Especially because your expertise is photography.
exactly. And the first year I was so depressed. I was like, no, this is not happening. And I have a good doctor that he told me, like, you need to try to do things to prove yourself that you can do anything that you want. And I started to do, that's why I was modeling when I was young. I say like, okay, I want to be Mrs. Spain and I want to represent my country and I'm going to do crazy things. And I won. And I went to China by myself.
You became Miss Spain.
Yeah.
Wow. Things we didn't know about Itziar. So you went to China?
I went to China by myself. I got in a plane without my vision properly. I did a lot of things and I was like, yes, I can do things. I also did a race of 100 kilometers in mountains. And I was like, yes. And from that, I was like, I can do anything. The other problem was the business part. I was trying to join marketing agencies. I was trying to do my work. It's like you said, I'm a photographer. How can you see if you cannot see? I know that I can do it. I was inside me that said like, the thing that take you like 3 minutes, for me, I can do it in 1 hour, but I can do it. And I was struggling a lot. I was not finding a job. It was super stressful. And even if I have the job, they were like, the copywriting is bad. You made this mistake. You made the other mistake. And it was so frustrating for me. Like, it was like, no. And that's why I decided to do it by myself because I know that I can do it.
Absolutely.
And I can do it in my own way. And now it's working really well.
I love that when we face adversity like that there is the possibility today that we can go, you know what, I'm not going to be part of this, and I can go set up my own business. I think it's really disappointing that we as society, and I say that for everybody, doesn't find a way to be more inclusive, because there is so much diversity in this world and everybody has gifts that they can share. And we might not all deliver it in the same way, but it might be in a different way that is like genius or so different that nobody else would have thought about. And it's disappointing that that didn't work for you. And it doesn't work for a lot of people. And I know a lot of people who have disabilities who end up setting up their own business because they're like, I know what I can achieve. And if I can't achieve it in the corporate world, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, it's really important. The physical and the emotionally, you need to be really good because you feel worthless. You feel. I was trying to not to tell anyone because you cannot notice if you see me.
No.
Like, I can pretend that I
Yeah.
see, but I was not happy, and I feel like why other people can do all these things that I can't. And one day I woke up and I was like, no, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to do the things my own way. And that is when things start to be better than before. You realize that you are hiding yourself. And then when you show up and when you are yourself, things are much better and much more easy.
And it just seems as well that it all attracts to you,
Yeah.
right? That you're ready for being open and receiving that.
Also, London is a good city to be here because here everyone can wear whatever they want. You can be, no one is going to judge you. And that helped me a lot too.
And so you found being in London that kind of gave you access to more opportunities?
Not with the job, more with myself and working on myself and doing all the work that we have to do, everyone needs to do. I was more confident with myself, and that's
beautiful. What would you say or advise to other people? And I say people because men or women, I think it's so important to talk about this, that if you do have a disability and it's not working for you in your business, whatever it is, or sometimes as well, there's a lot of people who have invisible disabilities, and yours in a way is invisible because you wouldn't know automatically. What if they're facing these challenges in work? Would you recommend to everybody to set up a business, or how would they navigate it?
Yeah, the most important thing is, I think that most of the people are scared, is like go to therapy, do breath work, do things that are good for you. And people are normally scared that they don't want to do those things. And it's really, really important because when you are happy with you, you can do other things. And especially if you have your own business, you will feel full. And it's really, really important. If you don't find that, if you find a job and you love it, yes. But if you feel like that you cannot do it, 100% have your own business.
And find what makes you happy as well. And what about for other companies? And I want to speak specifically to small businesses like our members in Female Fusion and the people who listen to the podcast. What would you recommend to all of us who have businesses and have employees to be more inclusive? How could they be more inclusive and ensure that maybe there is space for people with different disabilities to work for them?
I think you need to give the opportunity because, for example, in Spain, it's mandatory to have in the big companies a 10% that they need to be disabled. And I was in companies like that. They learn with me and I was like, oh, I didn't know that you cannot do that. I'm going to have a computer special for you. So being with people with disabilities is the thing that make you change your mind.
Yeah, because if you're not surrounded by people who have disabilities, and I think that goes for everything with diversity, right? That we want to not just hang out with people who are like us. We need to surround ourselves with all sorts of different types of people, cultures, nationalities, religions, disabilities, because then it gives us a greater understanding of the world.
That's another thing from London. My cultural mindset grew a lot with different people here for different culture, all the religion, and you are like, oh, I didn't know that. I will be more conscious on that now.
Yes. Well, and I mean, this is a whole other rabbit hole we could go down, because when I was on Necker Island, this is an area that we spoke a lot about as well, was because I think like when you work in the space of female entrepreneurship, that we're naturally giving and we want to be able to support other women, that you also want to support everybody. And we talked a lot about how do you be more inclusive and recognizing that we all have biases. We all do, because it's a result of how we've been brought up, where we've worked, where we've traveled. But to be open to recognizing that we do have a bias, but how can we learn from that to make our businesses better?
Yeah, and that's a good thing about Female Fusion. I was feeling alone at the beginning because, okay, I'm a creative person. I'm not a businesswoman. So for me, having a business, it was like a huge challenge. And then when I joined Female Fusion, all the girls were like helping me, really nice, give me advice. Like in the networking online that we do, I had a lot of clever ideas like, oh, I didn't know about that. Sharing our stories.
Yeah.
And it's so, so nice to have that connection.
Oh, I'm really pleased to hear that, because it is lonely, especially when you first start out and you're questioning, is this right? Should I make this decision, talk to these people? And so I'm really grateful to hear that has provided you that support to grow your business as well. And in terms of your business, let's talk about your business and plans, because you were telling me that you're doing a lot of content creation, you're working with a number of companies. You go out and you shoot the videos, and then you go and you edit them and put them together as well.
Yeah, that's the part that I love. I love to go to the brands, make the videos. I normally go once a month and then edit the video for them and I post for them. I enjoy doing that a lot. Not the copywriting, but I'm working on that.
Okay.
And next year, maybe I can have more people working with me.
But look, the other thing, you can always outsource that, right?
Yeah.
Even in the very beginning, one of my first businesses that I had, I realized that there were certain things that I was really good at and other things I didn't really want to do. And I used freelancers. And even if it was like a few hours every week or a day, a month, that you can bring in people where that's their zone of genius.
Yeah. And also when I started, I was thinking like, I'm going to do only the content. I'm going to do the...
Yeah.
And then speaking with other women and training, you realize that you can do other things. For example, like the membership that I told you that I'm building a membership to teach business owners that they don't have the budget to do the social media. And I'm really enjoying creating that videos too. And it's a different thing that I had not in mind when I started my business.
But that's almost a way of serving, right? To be able to serve and to help hundreds of thousands, because content is important. Content is important for your business, but to be able to do it in a way which is accessible for everybody is really beautiful.
Yeah. Discovering myself, I realized that I love to help people. Things that are easy for me, I love to share my knowledge and help other people. That's a thing that is really important for me, and I love it.
I'm really fascinated to hear how you built your business, and it's so nice to see as well that within the past year, you've grown your business quite well. Like, that's such a great success story. How are you finding your clients right now? Like, how do you network and meet people? Because this is always something that people ask me in the beginning. They're like, ta-da, I've registered my business. You're in the UK, you're like, I've got my certificate from Companies House. But, there's so much more to that. It's not that you have your business and all of a sudden the business comes. How did you go out and find your clients?
Yeah. I don't know if it's my modeling or marketing experience. That for me, I love networking. I go to networking events all the time. I love to speak in public. I love to do those things. So for me, it's like an easy thing, but it's that I have a lot of friends that they are female entrepreneurs. Like, I always like, come with me to this event because it's going to be amazing. You are going to meet interesting people. And she's like, why should I? Yes, you need to have with networking to do those things.
But I don't think that a lot of people realize just how important networking is, right? And for example, we had our Female Fusion Live event in London yesterday, and I had so many people come up to me and say, I forgot how important it is to show up. Today, I met two people who I'm probably going to do business with. I met one person who's going to refer me to this person who I have always wanted to do business with, or I've got this recommendation for this. And I was like, this is what Female Fusion does. this is what the power of networking is and why you have to show up.
Yeah, and especially you don't have to go and pitch yourself and try to sell because it's not the way. You need
Thank
to
you. Stop going with your business cards. Stop trying to pitch because that is not going to get you business.
No, you need to know people, know them really well. And when you have the opportunity and someone asks you, I need this, do you know someone? And I'm like, yes, I know this person and I know this person. That is the way that it has to be.
Yeah. I want this. You say that, but I'm like, I want this message to be so clear because still people don't get that. And I see this at every single networking event, whether it's Female Fusion or some other networking event, because it is important that we have different networking events, that you have people that will like hand out the business cards and they'll be like, but I went to that, I didn't get any business, that is rubbish.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Correct. I'm a deep person. I'm a deep conversation person. So I go to the networking and I start to ask deep. And you know that person better. For me, it's much more easy like that.
Yeah. Well, that's top tip for anybody who has a business. If you're struggling with business, networking, go and talk to people. And what about, you do a lot of online networking as well. Do you find that useful?
Yeah, I like in person better, but I do online networking too because, sometimes we travel, we don't have time. And online networking is so easy.
Yeah.
And for example, with the Female Fusion, I use a lot of the girls that are working there. I really use that a lot.
Well, I think it's quite cool that you can meet people all over the world. And it's like, oh, she's given me an idea, or she knows someone here who could recommend me. Or, just even being in that space to be surrounded by other really cool women that gives you that motivation can help so much.
Yeah. For example, when I traveled to Sydney last year and I fell in love with Sydney and I was like, I should be living here, but it's too far. But now I feel that I can go there for 2 months and collaborate with the girls there.
And plug in with our community and our members there as well. And that's what I love is that even if your business is in London, you can still connect with women on the other side of the world, like New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, Dubai, UAE. And, whether it's doing business or having recommendations or just having a different perspective is really cool.
It's amazing. Life is amazing.
So tell me, what's coming up next for you? You are working on launching a membership. So you're in the right place for that because it's one thing that I'm working on with our members because I am doing 6-month containers where we're going to be working with our members for 6 months to really launch something, grow, scale their business. So we can help you with that.
Yeah, I am definitely in business this year because it's not just launching my business. I want to grow the business. It's the perfect place.
I love that. Now, tell me, before we go, because you are a digital marketing expert, for somebody who feels a bit uncomfortable with digital marketing and they're like, oh, I don't like it, or I don't like doing those videos, what would be your top tips to anybody who's listening to help them feel more comfortable with putting content out there?
It's controversial because I know that you are your business, but have another person. A lot of people start, for example, you speaking with the person that you're going to be doing the content, and then when the people know that person, they know that the person do the social media. Sometimes I do it for the brands because they don't want to speak, they don't want to be on camera, and I do it for them. It's like, trust. You don't need to do it.
Yeah, and some people, if they don't feel comfortable, like super, like, I don't want to show up, absolutely it could work for them. I would also say to our members and our listeners that you do get more comfortable with it over time too. And we shouldn't be so scared that you're like, I'm never going to do it, because when you've done like 30, 50, 100, and I don't know if you found this, that in the beginning it was like, this isn't great. And then after a while, you just don't care, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the feel that you are going to be judged. People is going to think, why do I speak like that? People don't notice that you speak like that or that you do something.
Yes.
You are judging yourself. People is not. So when you realize there is not.
Well, how many messages do we get hit with every day? How many videos? How often are people going to remember? Like that reel that you created yesterday is long gone out of people's minds, isn't it?
And people doesn't know if you had something or they don't, you know it, but people don't know it. So.
Yeah. Great advice. Thank you so much for sharing your story with me today. And I'm so grateful to have you in our membership and to have you contribute to Female Fusion. We are, so much stronger with amazing women like you as part of our community. We're going to share the links to your social media, to your website in the show notes. And when your membership launches, we will make sure that we update that as well so people can access that.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. And it's lovely to speak with you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, but social media can feel pretty overwhelming sometimes as a business owner. It just feels like there is constant work that always needs to be done, which is why I have recorded for you a completely free 45-minute masterclass called Marketing Without Social Media. And inside, I share with you my tools and techniques that I use to grow Female Fusion and the other businesses that I have had. So I give you the tools, the techniques, and the frameworks to put that in place in your own business. All you need to do is head over to femalefusionnetwork.com/marketing.